The sun rose slowly over the red earth of a small village tucked between dry hills and stubborn acacia trees. Every morning, the land woke up before the people. The wind brushed the dust into the air. Chickens scratched at the soil, and women balanced water pots on their heads as if carrying both survival and silence. Among them walked Abeni. She was 17, thin as a whisper. Her feet cracked from years of walking barefoot on unforgiving ground. Her dress, once blue, had faded into a tired gray, stitched and restitched by hands that never rested. On her head sat a yellow jerrycan, heavy with water, heavier with responsibility. Abeni had been awake since before dawn. She always was. Her mother used to wake her with a gentle hum, a song passed down from her grandmother. But that voice had been gone for 3 years now. Buried beneath the same red earth that fed the village crops. Cancer, they said. Or maybe poverty. Or maybe both. Now, Abeni woke herself. She walked past mud houses, past women who looked at her with pity or judgment, past children who still laughed because they did not yet know what life would take from them. At the well, older women whispered, "That is the orphan girl. She should have been married by now. Too stubborn. Always reading." Abeni said nothing. She had learned early that silence was a shield. At night, when the village slept, Abeni read. She read by the light of a broken torch. Pages borrowed from an old missionary school book someone had thrown away. Half the pages were missing. The cover was torn. But to Abeni it was treasure. She traced the words slowly, sounding them in her head. Doctor, engineer, teacher. Words that did not belong to girls like her. Words that required permission from money, from men, from society. Her father had died when she was 10, crushed under a collapsed mine tunnel miles away. He left behind silence, debt, and a daughter who learned too early that the world did not bend for grief. Her uncle took her in not out of love, but obligation. "You eat my food, you work," he said. So Abeni worked. She fetched water, she cooked, she cleaned, she sold vegetables at the market. And still, at night, she read, because inside her chest lived a dream that refused to die. The village gathered beneath the old baobab tree when Abeni's uncle called for a meeting. Men sat on wooden stools. Women stood behind them. Children watched from a distance. Abeni stood alone. Her uncle cleared his throat. "This girl," he said, pointing, "is wasting time. A man from Kijiji village has offered bride price, 10 goats. Cash?" Murmurs followed. Abeni felt the ground tilt beneath her feet. "I want to go to school," she said, her voice shaking but clear. Laughter erupted. "School? For an orphan? For a girl?" The village elder spoke slowly, like explaining rain to the sky. "Education is not for girls like you. Marriage will protect you." Protect? That word tasted bitter. Protect from what? From hunger. From ambition. From becoming more than they expected. Abeni's hands trembled. "I will not marry," she said. Silence fell. Her uncle's face hardened. "You will," he replied, "or you leave." That night, Abeni packed nothing but her book. She left before dawn. No goodbye. No tears. Only fear and fire in her chest. The road to the city was longer than anything she had ever known. Trucks roared past, drivers shouting warnings or insults. Her feet blistered. Her stomach burned with hunger. But she walked. Each step was a refusal. Each step said, "I am more than what you decided." By the 3rd day, her legs shook. By the 4th, she collapsed near a bus stop on the edge of Kisimba City. That's where Mama Zola found her. Mama Zola ran a small roadside food stall. Her hair was silver, her back bent, but her eyes were sharp with life. "Child," she said, kneeling, "where is your family?" Abeni tried to speak. Only tears came. Mama Zola did not ask again. She gave her water, then food, then a place behind the stall to sleep. "You will work," Mama Zola said, "but you will eat. And no man will touch you." Abeni nodded. That night, for the first time in years, she slept without fear. Life in the city was loud, cruel, and beautiful all at once. Abeni washed dishes, served customers, learned to count money quickly, learned when to speak and when to stay quiet. Mama Zola watched her closely. One night, she saw the book. "You can read?" she asked. "Yes." "You want school?" "More than air," Abeni wanted to say. "More than food." Mama Zola smiled sadly. "I was like you," she said. "Dreams big, money small." Then she added, "But dreams do not die unless you let them." Mama Zola helped Abeni apply to a government night school. They rejected her. No documents. They rejected her again. No space. They rejected her a third time. Too old. Abeni cried that night, hard, quiet, like her heart was breaking all over again. Mama Zola held her. "Tomorrow," she said, "we try again, and again, and again." "One term," he said, "no promises." That was enough. Abeni studied after work, her eyes burning, her stomach empty. She failed tests. She was mocked for her accent, her clothes, her age, but she stayed. When Mama Zola fell sick, Abeni worked double shifts. When money ran out, she skipped meals. When exhaustion whispered quit, she whispered back no. Years passed. Abeni graduated. Then another certificate. Then another. She earned a scholarship. She stood on stages she had once only imagined. She spoke in rooms where women like her were never invited. And one day, she returned to not in silence, not in shame, but in purpose. The village gathered again under the baobab tree. This time, Abeni stood tall. She built a school. She funded girls' education. She spoke gently but firmly. "I am not an exception," she said. "I am evidence." Women cried. Girls stared with wide eyes. And somewhere, in the red dust, her mother's song lived on.